Friday night, the UMass men's hockey team opened up against NHL's top prospect, Jack Eichel, and Boston University. The Terriers scored 6 goals in the third period to blow out UMass 8-1. Here's our own Tommy Calautti's highlights of the game.
On Friday night, the Minutemen opened their season against regional rival BU, hoping to start off the year in a good way. Halfway through the first period, Robbie Belageron beats Oleg Yavenko to the post and slides a loose puck past Steve Maskelers to give BU the lead. BU takes an early 2-0 lead when Zach LaRue finds freshman Jake Horton to give the Minutemen their first goal of the season. Then, the UMass home opener ended and the Jack Eichel and Danny O'Regan show began. First Eichel, then Eichel to O'Regan, then O'Regan to Eichel to give BU a 5-1 lead. Things only got worse for the Minutemen as BU put up 3 more goals and coasted to an 8-1 victory.
I don't think that we're anywhere near being a finished product. Although I was happier with what we were in the beginning parts of the game, certainly I don't think that what we revealed tonight is going to be who we are by Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, the competitor and anyone in that room, player or staff included, does not allow for great perspective right now.
But was there anything positive you could take from the young guys?
I'm sure there is. And we'll look for it on the video.
Welcome back to UMass Sports Weekly. I'm Chris Corso with the man who covered the game, Tommy Calautti, and man, a tough loss, Tommy, for the Minutemen. You heard what Coach Micheletto had to say. 8-1, 6 goals, as we said, in the third period. Like you said before to me, BU was really just pounding it all over the Minutemen. No mercy for the Minutemen in that game. So
none whatsoever.
We're going to go to our first video highlight of the game on camera here, and that's what Tommy has. He's got some highlights, so take it away, Tom.
So, Chris, when you think of the BU offense, you think high octane, you think fast. And that really created problems for UMass defense. Now, like you said, Jack Eichel, top prospect, and then they had players like Adi Oskinen and Danny O'Regan on the first line, but I think it was more self-inflicted wounds from UMass. So I'm going to show you guys the first goal in fast motion. I want you to take a look at what happens here. So as you can see, puck gets sent in, and it's slapped in by Robbie Belageron. So there's your first goal. Now, I want to break it down in slow-mo and show you what actually happens. So, you see the puck coming in, and we're going to stop it right here. So what you see is, that's bad defensive play from number 8 on UMass. He lets a puck go through, he lets a player beat him into the slot and in front of Steve Mastelers, which can't happen. That means you've created a 2-on-1 in front of the net. Now, if you continue the clip, you see the puck go through right into Steve Mastelers. Now, Oleg Yavenko, number 25, is supposed to be UMass's lockdown defender. You have 2 jobs in that scenario. You either whack the puck out of the crease or you body this forward away from the net so he has no access to Steve Mastelers. In that scenario, both defensemen fail, as you see BU's assistant captain on one side of the post and then Robbie Belageron on the other. Oleg gets beaten wide, gets beaten to the net, and gets beaten for a goal. Now, that was only one of the problems for the Minutemen. Let's look at the next BU goal. As you can see, a little bit of celebration, well deserved. That was the first goal of the season at the Moen Center. So, I mean, not the best thing in the world for Minuteman fans to see. So here's our next goal. This is Fournier over to Jack Eichel. Now, I'm going to rewind this a little bit, and I'm going to show you where the Minutemen go wrong again. So, the pass goes up to Jack Eichel. Freeze frame it right there. So, Jack Eichel, great shot, hockey prospect. Now, you have 2 defensemen here. Both defensemen either need to collapse into the middle, one needs to take a forward approach and put a body on Jack Eichel, while the other defender slides back, or they both need to drop back closer to block the shot. As you can see, what ends up happening is neither of them does anything, and Eichel has a clear shot to the net. Now, what I want to point out about that, Steve Mastelers, as you saw right before this got paused, Mastelers in that position, sticking his blocker out, trying to get a little semblance of the shot. Now, Jack Eichel was right about here, top of the slot. that shot is going to come in straight on Steve Mastelers. If he stays in a regular goaltender position right in front of the puck, there's no way that goes in. It hits him in the chest, hits him in the shoulder. That was just one of the many things that Mastelers did miserably wrong in this game. And I want to show you this last goal by Jack Eichel. So here we go. The puck comes up. This is the Eichel goal again. And I want to pause it right here. Huge spot in between the two defenders. Eichel has the opportunity to either go to the net, he can drop it to Oskinen here, or you have Danny O'Regan swinging around the back here. So what eventually happens is, even if Jack Eichel misses the net or passes it off, you have another forward crashing from down here right in front of Mastelers, and you have Oskinen who can swing up this way right into the slot while Eichel drives to the net, creating a 2-on-0 in front of Steve Mastelers. That can't happen, and the Minutemen need to fix that. Now I want to show you another instance of just poor defensive play by the Minutemen. Again, Steve Mastelers has to play better. That's a huge thing. So here's Jack Eichel coming down, and he just puts it past Steve Mastelers. Looks like a good goal, looks like a great shot, but let's watch this in slow motion. So Eichel gets a pass, and he's carrying it into the zone, and let's stop it right here. You can see Mark Hetnick pointing to Oleg Yavenko where to go. Yavenko, again, who is supposed to be your lockdown defender, is standing basically flat-footed with no clue what to do. Now this is a basic 3-on-2 rush. Oskinen is going to swing this way for a drop pass, and O'Regan is going to crash the net. So what Yavenko's job is to do, you can't see it yet, but Frank Vetrano is coming in for back support. That forward takes the forward that is looking for the drop pass. This defenseman, Mark Hetnick, who eventually does his job, takes out O'Regan going to net, giving him no clear path to Steve Mastelers. That leaves Yavenko. Yavenko's job is to get in the shooting lane of Jack Eichel, guy with a great shot. I've said his name about 6 times already. So he's pretty good. And let's just see what Oleg does in this scenario. He sits there, and Eichel scores. Now, a little bit of good on this play. You see O'Regan around the outside, Hetnick does his job. You see Frank Vetrano right there, he does his job. And then you look at Jack Eichel stick in the air with Oleg still chasing him. This is not what the Minutemen need. They need to do better in transition D, and I think that's one of the biggest problems they're going to have this year.
Wow, now that was some great footage by Tommy, and wow, great coverage of that game. I mean, you see it right there. This Minutemen defense is not ready for teams like BU and BC and the powerhouses of this conference. That it's going to be big trouble for the team this year. But we focus on the defense of the Minutemen, and now we're going to flip things over to the poor offensive game that the Minutemen had. They had 1 goal, which came early from a UMass freshman. No attack seen throughout the entire game. Pretty much the puck was in control of the Terriers the entire game. So tell us what happened on the other side. Was it BU's defense that stopped the Minutemen, or could you say that it was a lack of offense on our side?
Well, to that point, I'd like to add, I would have a video breakdown of what was good or bad on UMass's offense, but there was just a huge combination of both. What you saw is you saw a trend. UMass would chip the puck off the glass out of the zone, BU would regroup and dump it in. UMass would chip it out of the zone, BU would regroup and dump it back in. UMass would get some semblance of an attack, and then BU would rush against the poor transition defense of UMass. BU's defensemen were not overpowering. At the end of the game, despite the 8-1 score, the shots were 39-32. I mean, UMass had their chances in this game. What I saw was a lack of execution. BU blocked 27 shots. That can't happen, and most of them came on the power play. Your power play, especially with a guy like Frank Vetrano and Dennis Kravchenko at the points, guys who you can count on to take your one-time slap shot in the umbrella power play format, you can't have your shots get blocked. That turns into turnovers, and that turns into quick goals. So what I say is UMass wasn't as opportunistic as they could be. I think BU's defense was good. I think BU controlled this game. But I think UMass did have the chance. Once they scored that first goal, Jay Corton had a really nice goal, everybody thought UMass was back in it. And then it was taken right away by those 2 goals by Eichel and O'Regan. But UMass had their chances, and I think this team, from what we've seen, UMass is going to have to lean on their offense this year. And I really think that this is a team that could be good, and I think it's a team that has the opportunity to be better on offense.
Now you seem to show that this team has potential, even though going through that footage we saw the defeat that the Minutemen took. As we saw in this game, no mercy for the Minutemen, no mercy for UMass. BU's a powerhouse. They have the NHL's top prospect already being compared to Sidney Crosby. by some experts in the NHL. And what do we think about this competition in the Hockey East? Do we think that we have a chance to measure up against the high quality of competition in this division?
This is a tough division. The Hockey East is no slouch. Unlike most of the teams that play for UMass, hockey is the team where they're in the toughest division. The way I look at the Hockey East, my breakdown, you have BC, you have BU, you have UNH, you have UMaine. And of late, you've had Quinnipiac, who's made it to, I believe, another Final Four. So I think it's going to be tough to compete with these guys. These teams are teams that have freshmen that are 24 years old coming out of Canada. And I think it's going to be tough for these Minutemen. I think with their speed, they're going to be able to compete, but I think it's going to be tough.
All right, Tommy. Well, we'll see. Great job on those highlights and great job with the coverage of the game the other night. And we're going to switch things over to UMass football. We have some good news with the UMass football team and Coach Mark Whipple, which is a little change for our segment for UMass football. The hockey team will be facing off against Michigan State in a non-conference 2-game set this weekend.
2-0 against Michigan State last year.
2-0 last year, so that's good news as well. But we'll be back with UMass football.